committee meeting to order. Will you please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I request one more.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A moment of silence. Thank you. The listing of matters on the agenda are those reasonably anticipated by the chair which may be discussed at the meeting. Not all items listed may in fact be discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by law. This meeting is being videotaped for cable. I'd like to introduce Brianna Roll, as she's our student representative tonight. Thank you so much for coming out. We'll start with our approval of minutes from the November 13th school committee meeting.
Moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. All right, we'll move on to our recognition. And Mrs. Spencer, would you?
It's kind of cool. It's like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Each year, the Lions Club sponsors the Peace Poster Contest for 6th graders at the Howard School. And there's a theme to it each year, and all the students participate. And our first place winner this year was Chloe Brown for her original Peace Poster. And Chloe, if you'd like to come up and receive your recognition.
Thank you so much in recognition. Congratulations. And we would like to take a picture with you in front of your artwork. Can maybe do that? Okay, great.
Wonderful. And Chloe did explain to me that her Peace Poster shows two sides of the world with all different types of people, and peace being on both sides of the world, and that is her hope for peace. Right, Chloe? Okay.
It's great.
Yeah, really great poster.
Will the school committee join me? Mrs. Spencer?
Oh, everybody?
Whoever would like to.
Who's taking the picture? You got a white mic?
Come on, Brianna.
Join the picture.
Come on, Sue. You're gonna keep it out. One knee on the floor.
Such a perfect time of year to be talking about peace too, so nice. And just as nice is our superintendent's update. Going on to the MSBA workshop,
Thank you.
which was a day of peace, I hear.
It was a wonderful day, actually. So in November, we hosted an MC PPO training, which is put on by the Inspector General's office and the Mass School Building Authority. Basically, it's a bunch of work. I think they have to take 8, and it's 8 full-day workshops throughout the year, and they host them in different places to get their credentialing to be the procurement officers of specific towns. So this was one of the days of training, and each day has a different topic, and we were asked if we could have the topic, which is the story of the building, which was about the process of how we went about doing our FF&E and choosing that during our building process. So we had the Inspector General here and Jack McCarthy from the MSBA and several other people from those organizations. And then we had some guest speakers, and they brought in people, and it was just a full day workshop. We presented, myself, Mark, and Sarah presented on the furniture process. We also gave a tour of everyone, of the building for everyone, and there were about 80 people when all was said and done in attendance. And we did receive a letter from the Mass School Building Authority that says that we'd like to thank you and your staff for a very successful story of a building program, inviting over 80 people into your school during the school day and for lunch is not an easy task. All this coupled with coordinating an informative presentation and a 4-part school-wide tour. The day was tremendous success, and we are grateful for your willingness to host the program in the beautiful Middle Senior High School. We'd especially like to thank Principal Mark Bodwell, Business Manager Sarah Smith, Executive Secretary Kim LaCroix, Food Services Anne Marie Grinder, and Technology Director John Collins. Each went above and beyond to ensure a flawless day. Thank you once again for a great day. So kudos to the staff and to the building and everyone that was involved in it. And we also, it's the day that Jack McCarthy announced that we are a model school for the state. So that's another good thing for the town of West Bridgewater. So they enjoyed it, and it was just a great day. And they're right. When we found out 80 people were coming during a school day, and we thought originally it would probably be maybe 25 or 30, it's like, okay, wow, this is going to be kind of tight, but it worked out really well. And actually, one of the teachers I was talking to a couple days after and said something about it, and she's like, oh, I didn't even really notice. I saw them come around, but so if it didn't impact the teachers, then it must have been done well. So I appreciate all the help from everyone, because a lot of planning and work went into it.
The day seemed to go very smoothly from afar, and just the parking lot situation. And from my children, I asked them how it was, and they didn't notice a thing. So I saw that as a really good sign. It didn't
Definitely.
affect the student body in the least. That's impressive to have 80 extra bodies in our school. That's a whole nother grade almost for us. So.
Yeah, for us.
Yeah, nicely done. On to full athletic updates.
Yeah, I like to give a little update usually just at the end of the different seasons to from the coaches, because a lot of times we see certain things and maybe records, or see that they had some wins and losses, but we never really get to sum it up. So I think it's nice to sum up everything. So starting with girls soccer, the girls varsity soccer team had qualified for the state tournament with a record of 9-8-1. Team was led by captains Abby Boucher and Natalia Ciccolo. The girls played a tough schedule, but one highlight of the season was defeating Division I Brockton for only the second time ever. They had 3 league all-stars, Liz Williams, Connor McCarthy, and Abby Boucher, and Liz was also named to the Enterprise All-Scholastic team. This group was an extremely hard-working group, and we're looking forward to seeing the team develop next season. Boys soccer. The fall of 2017 was both a rewarding and enjoyable time for the soccer team. The record was 13-6-2, advancing to the Eastern Mass MIA sectional game. 4 players were chosen for the Enterprise All-Scholastic team: Luke Sarantopoulos, Sean Thorburn, Kevin Lawler, and Jason Victor. And 2 players were selected for Mayflower League All-Stars: Luke Sarantopoulos and Sean Thorburn. Varsity football. Football team had a winning season and entered the playoffs with a 6th seed. They played tough all year and improved every week. Matt Lavoie did a great job at quarterback, and our second quarterback, Colleen O'Toole, finished a couple of games during the season. She's only a freshman. Colleen may be the only female player to play as a high school quarterback, a varsity high school quarterback in Massachusetts. Christian Keeling scored 22 touchdowns and ran for over 1,200 yards. Team played Southeastern for the first time on Thanksgiving Day. We used to do Avon Holbrook, so it's a new rivalry, and the Wildcats won and brought home the Route 106 turkey trophy that hopefully will have a good rivalry over the years. And I will say it did make a difference. We used to be at the Avon Holbrook games, and it really wasn't usually that full with fans and stuff, but the stands were full, and it was standing room only all around the field at Southeastern. So I think we made the right decision to switch it to more of a rivalry game like that, because there were a lot of people at that game. So it went really well. All-stars include Mike O'Toole, Matt Lavoie, Christian Keeling, Matt Condon, and Nick Medico. Michael O'Toole and Christian Keeling were placed on the Enterprise All-Scholastic football team. Golf. We have a lot of sports in the fall. Golf placed first in their league with only one loss. They Tucker Gilbrandts qualified for the MIA state tourney and placed in the top 10 statewide. Tucker also won the MAC All League tourney for the second time. Seniors Ben Souza and Danny Sullivan really stepped up their games this year and got the team some clutch points in big matches. Jack Shea had a strong year in the middle of the lineup and was a major factor. Tucker and Ben and Jack were also named MAC All-Stars. Field hockey team finished the regular season with a record of 9-8-1. They were able to make the state tournament and they traveled to Martha's Vineyard to play in the tournament. The team was able to pick up wins against Brockton, Bishop Feehan, Westport, Pembroke, Middleborough, and tied a great Oliver-Ames team. The team had 3 EAC, because we're not in the Mayflower League, we're in the Eastern Athletic Conference for field hockey. Hannah Gobato, Mia Smith, and junior Sophia Morse. Looking with a relatively young team, we look promising for Wildcat field hockey next year. Boys cross country, the team was captained by seniors Anthony Spooner and Gavin Varos and finished with a record of 13-2. They reclaimed the Mayflower Conference title after a 1-year hiatus. At the conference championship meet, the team finished first overall and saw 6 runners finish in the top 14 overall to earn all-star honors. Chris Williams, Dan Pleach, Chris Pratt, Madsen Anderson also joined Gavin and Anthony on the list. At the state level, these 6 boys and Chris Rigo joined together to finish 3rd out of 24 teams in the Eastern Division Championships. And with this finish, the boys team qualified for the Mass State meet for the first time, Mass All-State meet for the first time in the team's 54-year history. So congratulations to boys cross country, that was big. Girls cross country team won their 13th straight Mayflower Conference title this fall. Team was captained by seniors Liberty D'Angelo, Mark Campbell, Kaylee Bain, and Maggie Allen, and finished an undefeated 15-0. At the MAC championship meet, the team grabbed 8 of the top 13 places to dominate the race. Maggie Allen, Morgan Doherty, Devin McCarthy, Sarah Bryant, Caitlin Caprilian, Joy Kennan, Lauren Mitchison, and Charlotte Sinaski were all named to the All-Star team. And the girls team finished 4th as a team at the state championship. And cheerleading, we actually, a year ago, had to, we couldn't have a team because we didn't have enough girls to go out for cheering. And this year, the program's really rebuilding, and we have a good coach that's helping us rebuild the program. West Bridgewater cheerleaders had an excellent fall season. They're young, with 2 sophomores, 5 freshmen, and an 8th grader, but it's a great step to rebuilding the program as many of the girls have little to no experience coming in. They performed at halftime, every halftime in pep rallies, and the team works well together, and they're looking forward to really building the program up and competing like they used to years past, now that we have more members. And actually, I was just saying to Mr. Bodwell when we were downstairs watching the basketball game, I haven't seen that many girls in cheerleading in years, so Caitlin is really building it back up. So, and that's the fall update. It was good.
Great job to
Good
all
seasons.
of our fall athletes. I think at the beginning of the year you gave me a statistic that 57% of our students participate in a fall sport. Is that
In a
correct?
fall sport, I think it was higher than that.
Yeah, it was an amazing number.
Yeah,
That's
it was definitely higher than that. I forget exactly, but it's high in the fall.
It's nice to see the students participating in team sports, and one in particular I want to mention is the girls cross country team, because you think of that as an individual sport, and I have been out and watched several of their races, and it really is a team sport, especially the girls end up running together, and it's a great thing to see how, all the sports are wonderful, but I always think of that one as an individual, and it's not. They're definitely a team out there. So.
Yeah, they definitely run cross-country as a team,
Yeah, but
for
I
sure.
think their 13 consecutive titles proves they're doing something right. Definitely. Oh, great. Can we talk about budget timeline and meeting dates coming up?
Okay, so more fun. It's that time of the year again.
Winter sports, so I'm just kidding.
For our budget timeline and meeting. So right now, the building principals and Sarah and I are putting together the main parts of the budget. I believe everything is due to her in January from each individual building and department. She'll put that together, and you will get a copy of the budget at the February meeting, our regularly scheduled February meeting. Then we would like to plan just a budget meeting where we go through line by line after that, and then we would field any questions, go through it. You can take time to come in and ask us questions or anything between that, and then the March meeting, which is March 12th, we would vote to approve the budget and present it, go forward and present it to the selectmen and to the finance committee. So based on that timeline, I was looking at having the budget meeting on Monday night, February 26th. We still have 2 weeks after that before our March meeting, but I thought the 26th would be better to book it at first, because if it ends up having inclement weather or something like that, then we still have another week that we could book a meeting instead of booking it right before that meeting. So if people are okay with the 26th, so you'll get it before that, you'll get it before 2 weeks before that, and you can look at it, and I'm sure you'll be reading it thoroughly before we have our line by line meeting on February 26th. But if you have any questions, we can go. Or suggestions or anything like that.
So refresh my memory. We do that February 26th meeting, the line by line here,
Mhm.
and it's almost like an additional school committee meeting.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a regular open meeting, but we just concentrate on budget and go through so that everyone's on the same page. And if we, take suggestions or need, I'll know a little bit more from the town side by then also, what they're looking for, what they're expecting us to come in with. So we may have to talk about, well, right now we're over by 0.5%, we need to cut this, and have conversations on what we need to do at that meeting. And then you'll vote to put it forward to the FinCom and Selectmen at the March meeting, the regularly scheduled March meeting. And usually, within a week, we have back-to-back meetings. Usually they put them like on a Wednesday night and a Thursday night. We meet with Selectmen one night and FinCom the next night. And that will probably be that week that we vote on it, or the week after. It's usually very quickly after that.
So like the March 14th or 21st, leave those dates.
Yeah, and I usually try to ask the town administrator if we can go last on the, because we have the biggest budget, or go later. We might not go last, but go later, because we have to get past our March deadline, our March meeting here. They actually start at the end of January. He'll start bringing certain departments in with the FinCom and stuff, but we usually try to be at the end.
Yeah.
And we're a bigger budget, so.
And so the week before that February 26th line by line meeting is vacation week.
Mhm.
But then after that meeting on the 26th, if we have additional questions, we still have 2 weeks. Does that work for everyone? And then you'd have the first week to review it, the week of the 12th,
Mm-hmm.
if we needed to get.
Yeah, if we need to make any changes.
Yeah.
We usually, even if, like last year, we voted on it on Monday night and we had to be at FinCom, I think it was, no, maybe the Selectmen on Wednesday, and there weren't that many changes, so Sarah just made them Tuesday, and then we just printed up it with the changes and sent it over to them. So that has worked out.
Okay.
And we'll know pretty quickly, probably right after we get back from New Year's, when our dates are set up.
Okay.
I should know pretty quickly. He puts out a schedule, so.
Okay, so we'll have, Kim will take care of posting that additional for the 26th. But we don't have to vote on that, right?
The additional meeting?
Yeah, does everyone, will everyone just give me a nod if that
Okay.
sounds good?
6:30.
6:30, yes.
And that's all I have.
Excellent, well, those were all wonderful things, because we need money, so, and the other two are fun. Under business, field trip, Mr. Bodwell and Mr. Lemarier.
Thank you for having me here tonight. I'm here to promote for, or ask for permission, if you will, for a band trip for the high school band to Hershey Park in April. You should have a paper that looks like this. We're working with Suburban Tours, which is the same company that I worked with my predecessor for high school band. The same exact itinerary is to be used for this trip, where we'll go out on a Friday. We'll visit Amish country and get some cultural learning going on out there, and then we'll check into the hotel. Saturday, we'll actually have the band festival where we'll be competing against other high school bands, and then going to Hershey Park in the afternoon for the park itself and also an award ceremony. And then on Sunday, we'll be heading back home. Well, on the way back home, though, we'd like to go through New York and also visit Ellis Island and Liberty State Park in New York on the way home. And again, this is the same trip that was done in 2012. And pretty much the rates and everything with the proposal for Suburban Tours is right on paper. We're looking at quad occupancy right now at 532, but the great thing about using a tour company is that they also have optional trip cancellation protection coverage insurance, which we really don't have if I plan or anything. And I would leave that optional for students. So I'm just looking for basically approval of trying to run this trip, and it's based basically on the interest of the students. So I would need enough students to go. Right now we have 31 students in high school band, which has grown since when I first took it over. I think we had 18 the first year I took it over. So we have more numbers even now than we had in 2012. So I'm hoping it'll be very successful in that. A lot of students will want to go. Mr. Bodwell, I just put in for a fundraiser. This is going to be weird, but it's a mattress selling fundraiser. And I know that it sounds a little weird, but it was brought to me by Ray Ponte, the music director in East Bridgewater, and they made $9,500 off of it.
I was gonna say, I saw signs for that and thought it was strange when I saw signs, but $9,500 is $9,500.
No, so I had to get us in. I've had it on the back burner now for a couple of years, but I was waiting for a trip like this to really try to do that. And I've been telling the kids exactly what we're looking at. I didn't say we're running it. I didn't say it's approved yet. But just from a raise of hands in the room, it seems that most, if not all, want to at least try to go. So that fundraiser would give us a chance. And Mr. Bodwell, I believe you talked with me about that. And I haven't gotten the paperwork back yet, but it looks like we're most likely going to run it and try it out. So that's part of the fundraising. We also received $500 from the Downtown Brockton Association from the Brockton Christmas Parade, which we did. So that's always a great thing that we look forward to. And yeah, we're just ramping up a lot of events. Just planned for 2 basketball games. So we're trying to give the community something back too, as well as us. So I just ask for approval.
Can I get a motion to approve the Hershey Park?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or further discussion?
All right.
All
Thank
those
you.
in favor?
Hope to make you proud.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Bring back chocolate. If you can.
I'll try.
Although that's a long
They're gonna
bus
be on a
ride
bus
home.
trip. There's not gonna be any
Might not
left.
make it. Ship it back. All right. Mrs. Hume, do you have an Inclusion Matters update for us?
I do, yes. Inclusion Matters had their second Parents' Night Out on Wednesday, November 29th. I believe that was at Latina. I wasn't able to attend, but I heard a good time was had. The December meeting was December 4th, and guest speaker Liz Phillip was welcomed. Liz is a meditation teacher from the Zen Loft, and she talked about using meditation to reduce stress, and she led the group in a small, short meditation as well. And they voted a new board member at their December 4th meeting. Mr. Jason Winchell was elected as their new secretary.
Excellent. All right, thank you. All right, assignment of policies. We have a new policy, the Narcan policy. And
Actually, yeah.
Mrs. Sullivan?
I'd like to take that. Actually, we had spoke about that at the Safe Schools meeting. So I'd like to take that if that's okay.
Excellent. All right, policy 4,000 student records. Sounds like an exciting one. I can take this one.
Sure.
Yep. I will mention there's a short between this meeting and the January meeting because of the holidays. There's basically 2 weeks to do the policies rather than the typical 4 weeks. So keep that in mind when you're
Jumping on my table idea already? Good.
Oh, yeah.
That's good. Let's be forward thinking. Let's just do
Put it on
February.
Just say it. Just say it.
Molly,
We're
I
gonna
love
move
the way
them
you
all forward
think.
anyway. Why bother worrying?
Molly is a
the
planner.
student records. I did okay.
Let's look at the track record, that's all.
Fundraise, so policy 6450, fundraising, field trips, and celebrations.
I can take that one.
Okay, thank you, Mrs. J. And the last one, the concussion policy. You say that a little dreadingly.
No, no.
He's had the most
Are you feeling
concussions.
I've had the most.
Let me check.
Have,
You are safe to return to meetings, Mr. Flynn. I got the sign off from your mom. Just kidding. All right, concussions are not something to be laughing at. We have a good policy. All right, so approval of policies from last month. Policy 5200, the curriculum development.
In all seriousness, I would like to table this one again, though.
Okay.
I just need a little more time to meet with Dr. Oakley on that, as well as try to, I think, do a little bit of forward thinking myself with respect to the MESC policy revisions.
Mhm.
So it's a little bit more intense or complicated than I thought. So I just need a little bit more time.
So when we review the policies now, though, because I know you and Mrs. Hume have already
Yes.
met with the state, so that's underway and a lot of work. Can we still putter along, though? So, for instance, when I do the student records policy, can I just do it with my old mindset, and then it will be corrected in a couple months? Okay.
It will. It would be
Alright.
blended into the new coding system.
Okay.
Yes.
So we're kind of working two angles at the same time, which is going to be very difficult when you guys do policies because you're already in the
Right.
next stage, whereas we'll be still in the old stage. Okay.
That's all right. We
Yeah.
still want to keep up with our
Yeah.
US schedule.
Okay.
That's
Substantive, it's.
How is
definitely
that
has to
going so
continue.
far? How's the process? I know you had a long meeting the other day.
a little overwhelming. It's a lot
Yeah.
to do, but we've had 2 meetings, and I think the second one made us feel a little better as to our plan to go
Yeah.
through all of them and incorporate them into the state's. But we still have a lot of work to do. But
Yeah, it's, I will be the first to say that I know I was the last one to hold out on voting it in or accepting to pay for that policy service through the MASC, but it's probably one of the best things that we've decided to do. Just getting involved in it with Donna now and trying to just even see the codification process. It's very overwhelming. We had a very stable base of policies, but there's a lot out there that we weren't aware of.
Mm-hmm.
So
Which is what we thought.
It's yeah.
it'll be
So
great when it's done.
It'll be awesome. It'll be much better it'll be way more user-friendly with respect to the district being able to go online and find what they're looking for. So that's really the end goal, I think, part of it. So
Mm-hmm.
it'll be good.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, policy 6100, attendance age requirements in home hospital education.
Yes, I had taken that one and I reviewed it and I didn't see any need for any changes to it. It's a pretty short policy that just outlines our requirements for the age this child has to be and the home hospital education. So I'd like to make a motion to just accept that policy without any changes.
Moved.
Second.
Right, it's been moved and seconded. Any questions or discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent, thank you. We got a policy done.
Thank you, Mrs. Field.
Let's go with policy 8000, academic, athletic, fine arts
We're gonna
boosters
follow
policy.
Sue and just move it forward.
One at a time here, people, one at a
Move
time.
it forward.
Okay.
Those who criticize are following thou.
I really don't want to just run a gym and clog everything all up.
Do you want to put that on February? Out of-
Clog everything all up.
Out of the 4 policies, I will say, well, besides the Narcan policy that doesn't exist yet, the concussion policy is much more detailed and does require more changes than some of the other ones. So do you want to?
No, we'll
What?
see how we go.
Okay.
See how we do.
All right. Okay, dokie. So warrants. We're going to do both of these by roll call. So warrant 20. So actually, I can do them together by roll call. Correct? Warrant 21A, dated December 1st for $571,092.21, and warrant 23A, December 14th for $460,165.84. So can I get a motion to accept these?
Moved.
A second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any questions? And can I get a roll call vote, Donna?
Approved?
Approve.
Recuse.
Recuse.
Excellent. Oh, yay, public forum. Members of the audience wishing to address the committee may do so at this time. Audience members are reminded that personnel issues or issues that would violate student confidentiality cannot be addressed during the public forum. Any takers? Anyone want to sing for us? Okay. Then we're going to move right on to, well, it is the holiday season, so sometimes people feel like they need to
Mike?
express themselves with
Mr.
joy.
Hyde?
You'll show us some math? Oh, that would be lovely.
Could put it to a jingle.
Brianna, would you like to see some math? She wants to save it for tomorrow. It's too exciting. All right. Our calendar. Mrs. Hume, will you do our calendar for
I
us?
will, yes.
Excellent, thank you.
District-wide, we have a half-day on December 13th and December 22nd. And then December 25th through January 1st is our holiday break with no school. For district meetings, school council meetings are at Howard on December 19th at 2:45, at Spring Street on December 14th at 2:45, and at Roselle on December 18th at 3:30. The next PTO meeting is December 19th at 7 p.m. in the Howard Library. The next Athletic Boosters meeting is January 17th at 7 p.m. Right here in the Middle Senior High School. The Music Boosters meeting is January 2nd at 6:30 in the Middle High Music Room. And the next CPAC meeting is February 5th at 6 o'clock right here in the Learning Commons. The Middle Senior High School has their winter band and chorus concert on December 14th from 6:30 to 8:30. They have a winter cabaret show, Totally 80s, on December 20th from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And another show, A Hero's Journey Pay the Piper tournament from December 21st from 5 to 7. The Howard School's winter band and chorus concert is December 13th at 6 p.m. here in the auditorium at the Middle Senior High School. And Spring Street has family tea parties for their pre-K on December 12th and 14th at 1 p.m. and December 15th at 10 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Excellent. Lots of great holiday events to come see our children perform. Our students, I guess I should call them. Our next regular school committee meeting is for Monday, January 8th at 6:30 p.m. right here in the Middle Senior High School Learning Center. So if there aren't any other things other than just to have a wonderful and safe and happy holiday, I'd call for, anyone want to make a motion to adjourn? No, everyone wants to stay.
Moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Thank you, guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Did we